Hello everyone, the Wood Elf Arcane Journal has gone on to pre-order, and our friends at Games Workshop had granted me a little bit of early access with it so I could give you my thoughts. There's a bunch to talk about as we do get some pretty interesting things, very expected in some parts, which we'll talk about a bit later, and some surprises like the brand new full lore of magic. It's always good to see a full lore coming in. So let's just jump right in because there's a lot to talk about. So we're going to start off with Orion's Wild Hunt. This is a Army of Infamy centered around, well, you guessed it, Orion. For characters, we have 50% of your army's point value, 0 to 1 Glade Lords per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 Shadow Dancers, Spell Singers, or Waste Stalkers per 1,000 points, but as many Glade Captains as you wish. For core, we have 25% of your army must be spent on core, 0 to 1 Wild Riders per 1,000 points, and also Glade Riders as many as you want. This is yet another cavalry list. I have noticed that Games Workshop have been really favouring as many cavalry Army of Infamies as possible. For special, we have up to 50%, and that is 0 to 1 Sisters of the Fawn per 1,000 points, as many War Dancers, Warhawk Riders, Wild Riders, and Wood Elf Beast Packs as you so wish. Yes, the Beast Packs are back. And finally, for rare, we have 25% of your army's point value, which is 0 to 1 Way Watchers per Waste Stalker taken, 0 to 3 Great Eagles per 1,000 points. It's actually kind of interesting to see so many Great Eagles coming in, and as many Deepwood Scouts and Wild Riders as you wish. Again, I'm not too sure how this is going to play. I've not had time to test this Army of Infamy too much. It's mostly because I don't have a lot of Wild Riders, and Glade Riders too. I have to wait until they go out on sale. Most of my Wood Elf stuff is focused around trees. However, the special rules for the faction is quite cool. So, we do have the Chieftains of the Hunter King. This means that your Wood Elf nobles in a Orion's Wild Hunt army may have talismanic tattoos at the cost of 10 points per model, which is not too bad, it's kind of cheap. Then you've got the Spirit of Kurnos. 0 to 1 Glade Riders, Warhawk Riders, or Wood Elf Beast Packs per 1,000 points may have the Furious Charge and Impetuous Special Rule at the cost of plus 10 points per unit. Keep in mind that the Furious Charge does not also go on to the mounts, so the Warhawks or the horses themselves. Lastly, we have Worthy of Kurnos. After deployment, but before the first turn begins, nominate a single enemy character or a single enemy model whose troop type is a monster. This model has been marked by the Wild Hunt as a prize trophy. All models within Orion's Wild Hunt may reroll any rolls to hit of a natural 1 made in the shooting or combat phase against the nominated unit. In addition, you also get 100 bonus victory points if you kill it, or it's fled the battlefield, or is fleeing when the game ends. It's not too bad. It's obviously very much on a monster hunting basis. If you're going to be fighting against some beastmen, for example, you're going to be dealing with a lot of monsters. It's interesting. It's definitely very interesting. I do want to give this army a proper roll once I can get my hands on some Glade Riders. From a player's point of view, I will also admit, though, that I am feeling a little bit of fatigue when it comes to cavalry lists. Maybe it's just because, like, when we had the Empire one, we had 5 cavalry lists. The next Army of Infamy is the Host of Talzin, which is focused quite more on a bit of an even mix. Kind of just reminds me of a, well, standard Grand Army, actually. So, characters up to 50% as per usual, 0 to 1 Glade Lords or Spellweavers per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 Treeman Ancient per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 Warden of Talzin. This is another Kit Bash character per 1,000 points, unless there is a model for this, but I haven't seen one as far as I'm aware. 0 to 1 Shadow Dancers per unit of War Dancers taken, and then as many Glade Captains, Spell Singers, and Branch Wraiths as you want. For core, 20% as per usual, plus 1 unit of Eternal Guard, so you have to bring 1. As many Dryads as you wish, 0 to 1 units of Glade Guard per 1,000 points, 0 to 1 unit of Deepwood Scouts may be taken as a core choice also, which is pretty good. They are very, very strong right now. I think a lot of people are favouring them. For special, you've got up to 50%, and that is Deepwood Scouts, Guardians of Talzin, Wildwood Rangers, and Sisters of the Fawn. These are as many as you wish. And finally, 0 to 2 units of Treekin per 1,000 points. For rare, it's 33% of your army's point value may be spent here, as many Treemen and War Dancers as you so wish, and 0 to 3 Great Eagles per 1,000 points. It's not too bad, but again, very similar to that of a Grand Army, I'd say. Not a lot of cavalry, actually, or no cavalry whatsoever, barring the Sisters of the Fawn, I think. But if you are taking, a host of Talzin, and you're going to be going around Araloth and so on, you're going to be focusing very heavily on archer units and a lot of spears, you know, that staunch line. The Wardens of Talzin, by the way, can also be a battle standard bearer if you don't want it to be on your Glade Captain. The Host of Talzin has the following special rules. Ancient enemies, so all units within the army gain hatred, beastmen, brayhoods. This is, I guess, preparing for Morga in the future. In tune with nature, in addition to the laws of magic they normally have. The Wood Elf mages, treemen, ancients, branch wraiths within this army may also take from the law of the wilds. This is the brand new law that we'll be talking about a little bit later. Protectors of the Ancient Wood. Whilst in control of a special feature, a unit within a Host of Talzin army may reroll any rolls to hit and to wound of a natural one during the combat phase. And finally, the Awakened Wood. So within a Host of Talzin army, any number of units of Dryads and Treekin may have the Ambushes special rule at the cost of 1 point per model. In addition, Treemen and Ancient Treemen may have the Ambushes special rule for the cost of plus 10 points per model. It's not too bad if you're looking to ambush the Beastmen whilst they ambush you. Ambushception, I guess. I will admit it's not the most exciting Army of Infamy. Both of them aren't really the best. I will argue, however, that the Wood Elves as their Grand Army have been in a very good spot. So I do think it's relatively fine. I mostly just haven't really played a lot of Wood Elves, if I can be honest. I have been finishing the Bretonnia project and now I'm going to start the Chaos project. Well, finish the Chaos project. Okay, we have to talk about the characters now. We're going to start off with Orion, the King of the Woods. A lot of people have been really excited to see him come back, and I'm really happy that the Hounds are back too, as they form a singular unit. Stat-wise, they all have movement 9, which is pretty hilarious. Orion is weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 6, strength 5, toughness 5, 5 wounds, initiative 8, attacks 5, leadership 10, 455 points per model, but he does come with the dogs. The dogs are pretty okay-ish with that regard, you know, like weapon skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4. It's a bit expensive as a character, it's pretty obvious. There's some good special rules, you know, Orion has Fear, Frenzy, Immune to Psychology, Move for Cover, Magic Resistance 2, Open Order, Stomp Attacks D3+2, Strike First, Terror, Unbreakable. I think Unbreakable is the big thing here, because even if the Warhounds die, which they kind of act as separate wounds for him, then, yeah, I mean, they work pretty well. The Hounds themselves are pretty tasty. Fear, Frenzy, Immune to Psychology, Magical Attacks, Move through Cover, Open Order. They're Spectral Hounds too, and they're Unbreakable. So Spectral Hounds means that they can only be wounded by magical attacks. So magical arrows, magical weapons and spells and stuff. But if you're dealing against stuff that has no magical attacks, yeah, they're going to be really smashing through the enemy line. It's pretty fun. Orion's special rules are pretty interesting. The Cloak of Isha gives him a 5-up ward save, so he's already tanky enough as it is. In addition, during each of your starter turn phases, roll a d6, and then, on a roll of a 5-up, you get a wound back, so he can keep on healing. It's a pretty high roll, but still, a 5-up is still pretty good. Horn of the Wild Hunt is pretty interesting, so once per game, during the command subphase of his turn, Orion may sound the horn, and if he does, until the end of the turn, all of your units in the army, well, in the command range, better yet said, gain the Frenzy special rule. A unit may become frenzied again, even if they lost it before. I don't know, man. I would have kept this as just full game, I guess. It just kind of sounds like it's a pretty interesting thing, because Frenzy would you be subject to Impetuous and so on, but that might be a bit overpowered, and the character is overpowered as it is. Then you've got a bunch of attacks coming in, you know, with the whole Hawk's Talon, 30-inch range, standard strength, -1 AP, magical attacks, and multiple shots, D3+1, and you do have the Spear of Kurnos. So yes, Orion is a bolt thrower again. He does have a decent amount there. You can use it in combat too, so it's -2 AP, either as a ranged weapon, which has 18 range, or just in combat, multiple wounds, magical attacks. It's pretty good. And yeah, it does go through enemy ranks too. Yeah, I mean, this is the better of the two characters, don't get me wrong. I think it's just because Orion's such a big name compared to Araloth. Araloth is cool though, so I don't want to like bring him down. We're going to talk about him in a second. It's expensive, but you're going with a theme here. Araloth is cheaper, and I think he's going to see a lot more playtime on the field, because it's not too bad of a character. 170 points, movement 5, weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 7, strength 4, toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 8, 4 attacks, which is not too bad, and leadership 10. In terms of normal special rules, he's got Move Through Cover, Rallying Cry, Strike First, and Stubborn. Then he's got a bunch of unique special rules. Boldest of the Bold, for example, he ignores all modifiers to his leadership characteristic, which is great. Favor of the Goddess, he has a 5-up ward against any wounds suffered. And then he also has Scarin the Eye Thief, which kind of works very similar to that of a Pigeon Bomb. So you roll a d6 once during the command phase of your turn, and on a 1 and 2, nothing really happens. On a roll of a 3+, the Hawk itself descends into the skies, goes and attacks an enemy within 18 inches. The enemy suffers a single Strength 4 hit with -1 AP. And if the target suffers an unsaved wound, its weapon skill and initiative characteristics are reduced by D3 for the remainder of the game, which is pretty good if you're dealing against some very killy beastmen. You want to remove their weapon skill as fast as possible, or any other elves, anything with high weapon skill in general. It's not too bad. It doesn't say once per game here, unless something's changed or they have some sort of, day one FAQ, so I guess you can do this every command phase, which is pretty interesting. I mean, you could basically just constantly keep nerfing characters. We'll have to wait and see. And then finally, we do have the Spear of Talzin. It's normal strength, AP -1, armor bane 1, magical attacks. Yeah, it's a decent weapon overall. It's a spear, keep that in mind. Alright, there's not a lot of new units, let me be very, very clear about that. A lot of these are just kit bash stuff. The Wardens of Talzin are 125 points per model, movement 5, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 3, wounds 3, initiative 6, 4 attacks, leadership 9. These are an infantry character that start off with hand weapons, Azrae spears, and light armor. You can give them additional hand weapons, you can give them a shield, you can also give them a great weapon, and they can take up to magical items, 75 points. They've got special rules of Close Order, Courage Beyond Compare, Drilled, Evan Reflexes, Immune to Psychology, Move Through Cover, Parry, Strike First, and Stubborn. And yes, Parry is back, but it's a little bit different to how we remember it. First, Courage Beyond Compare, so if this character joins a unit of Guardians of Talzin, this unit gains the Immune to Psychology special rule, and you'll lose it if you leave the unit. Parry itself is odd. So when fighting with a hand weapon, a shield, or an Azrae spear and shield, the unit improves its armor value by 1. I kind of miss the shield saves, not gonna lie. I don't know, man. Extra armor is always nice, but in a lot of cases, you're gonna be dealing with a lot of stuff with armor bane and AP and so on. I do feel like a shield save would be very useful to return. It just feels a bit strange. Maybe this works, but it's, Nurgle, great weapons, and just in general, a lot of Beastmen stuff. You see what I mean here? Or just Dwarven melee? Guardians of Talzin are basically just Eternal God. It says here, just paint them in green and white. It's like, oh, okay. No. I don't know. Doesn't seem too interesting to me. 18 points per model, by the way. And if they have a Watchmaster, it's plus 6 points. The other stuff, you can have full command, plus 5 points for the rest of the stuff. Weapon skill 5, movement 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 4, 2 attacks each, leadership 9. It's not bad. They start off with hand weapons like armor and Azrae spears. You can have them take shields for 1 point per model. Close Order, Drilled, Elven Reflexes, Martial Prowess, Move for Cover. Parry also, Stubborn, and Veteran. Which is weird. You see, I'm imagining we're going to see the parry rule go into a lot of areas after this. I don't know. It's just weird just to give it to specific units and that's it. Yeah, Martial Prowess, we already know that. The Azrae Spear allows them to fight in extra ranks. It doesn't scream amazing to me. I don't know. It just really doesn't. But the last new unit is pretty exciting because Wood Elf Beast Packs finally returned from, 1987 or something? It's kind of weird to see this back. It's going to be the old models too, so keep that in mind, right? But here you have the Beastkeeper, but you also can get Forest Cats, Deepwood Hounds, and Sylvan Boars. Oh, I forgot the Bear of Lauren also. What's important here is to note that it's a mixed unit, but that each Beastkeeper within a Beast Pack must take the same. In other words, a Beast Pack can only contain Deepwood Hounds, Forest Cats, Sylvan Bears, or Bears of Lauren, not a mixture of different beasts. That's very, very important here. You can have up to 1 Bear of Lauren, 1 to 3 Boars, 1 to 3 Forest Cats, or 1 to 3 Hounds. They're quite expensive in their own right. The bear is 20 points, the boars are 11 points each, the cats are 6 points each, and the hounds are 8 points each. Peacekeepers have decent stats. I mean, movement 5, weapon skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 4, 1 attack each, leadership 8, 11 points per model. It's basically just like a regular infantry trooper. The difference is that you do get a lot of stuff with the animals, right? We'll talk about all the stuff first with the Peacekeepers, because there's a lot, right? Elven Reflexes, Motley Crew, move through cover, run with the pack, and skirmishes. Run for the pack is a special rule here, which basically means that when you're in with the animals don't suffer undisciplined, and the war beasts do not fear models with flaming attacks. In addition, a unit with this special rule may use the movement characteristic of the majority of the model of the unit. So like if you've got the cats there, which move quite fast, funny enough the hounds are faster, well, that means that your beast keeper is going to go 9 inches, which is pretty fast. Honestly, it's not too bad. The beast packs themselves, I mean, there's pretty good stats. You know, the Deepwood Hound, movement 9, weapon skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, leadership 5, 8 points a model. Forest Cats, movement 7, weapon skill 4, strength 3, you can see this on screen, initiative 4, 6 points per model. The Sylvan Boar, movement 6, weapon skill 3, strength 4 actually, toughness 4, 1 wound per model. It's fairly decent. I think the Bear of Lauren is kind of cooler, though. They're all on 25 by 50s, by the way, barring the actual Keeper, which is movement 5, weapon skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds. I would have given a Bear 3 wounds, in all honesty. Leadership 6 stats. It's very weird balancing. I think it's because they have so many special rules, like the Hound has Motley Crew, run with the pack, skirmishers, warband. The Cat has Armorbane 1, Motley Crew, run with the pack, skirmishers. The Boar has Furious Charge, Razor Tusks, which if you're used to that, you know it's minus 1 AP, and also run with the pack and skirmishers. The Bear has Cleaving Blow, Fear, Motley Crew, Armored Hide 1, run with the pack and skirmishers. And the Cleaving Blow, you know, this is the usual stuff. We've seen this before. I like this. I feel like they should be able to mix a bit more, though. I mean, you know, you can have Black Orc units with such a variety of weapons, and same thing with Slayers, too. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to wait to see it. These models, like, I'm pretty sure I have a Beast Tamer, but I don't know if I have any, like, packs. It's been a long time since I've looked at my Wood Elves. It's not a lot of units, I'll be very honest here. It's not a lot. I'm going to be skipping off the Kindreds because obviously I don't want to go over the whole book, or else there's no point of you actually checking out the book. But yeah, there's not a lot of units here. But one thing I'm very excited about is the fact that we've got another full spell lore. I wasn't too keen on the half lores that we were getting in the just general Grand Army, so it's good to see full spell lores coming in. The Lore of the Wilds makes the return, which is basically just another version of the Lore of Athaloran. It has a few fun spells, so let's talk about it. First, the Signature, which is Swirling Mist. This is an enchantment with a casting value of 8+ and a range on self. Until your next start of turn subphase, any enemy model that directly shoots at the caster or any unit they have joined must reroll any rolls to hit of a natural 6. Pretty good over round. You know, you want those types of spells here. Then, spell 1 is Fury of Athaloran. This is a magic missile with a casting value of 10+, range 18 inches. The target enemy suffers D3 plus 1, strength 6 hits with an AP of -2 and the multiple wounds 2 special rule. So you're going to be hitting at some Beastmen Minotaurs or, well, pretty much anything just big. I know a lot of people favoring the Ogre Kingdoms right now, myself included. I really do like them as a legacy faction. I feel like they do hold out quite well. Yep, this is probably the best one that you've got there for dealing with big entities. Next is spell number 2, Ariel's Blessing, or Ariel's Blessing as we now call her in Total War. I'm so used to the old version. It's an enchantment with a casting value of 9+, range of 10. Until your next start of turn subphase, the target unit gets regeneration +5 special rule, which is, not too bad, not too bad. Regen is always useful. Now, spell number 3, Spiteful Torment. We've got Magical Vortex, casting value 10+, range of 15, remains in play. This is a blast template that is in the central hole of 15 inches. This is treated as a dangerous terrain and moves D6 in a random direction during every start of turn subphase. Any enemy unit, so just enemies it seems, caught under the template or moving over it suffers 3d6 strength 2 with a -1 of AP. So which is actually not bad. I mean, you still got the randomness there. 1d6 isn't too bad. In most cases, I just see my stuff flying all over the place. Pillar of Fire is still probably the best spell so far. Now, spell number 4, we do have Durfu's Wrath. It's always nice to see a mention of another character. I know a lot of people are missing them. We do know that Games Workshop are potentially going to be looking at some other future Arcane Journals, which is always quite nice. This is an assailment spell with a casting value of 10 plus in combat. Each model in fighting rank of a unit that casts this spell must immediately make a initiative test. Each model that fails suffers D3 strength 4 hits with no armor saves permitted. Ward and regenerations are attempted as normal. If you're dealing with those big enemy blocks that people are using, particularly the Empire or even Tomb King players, yeah, this might be quite useful for you. Hidden Pathways is spell number 5. It's a conveyance spell, casting value of 8 plus, range of 12 inches. Effect: until your next starter turn subphase, the target friendly unit gets the reserve move special rule and may perform a quick turn, even if it would not normally be able to do so. Not too bad if you're trying to get your, well, archers up there, or maybe just some of your stabby boys. It's one of those things where you're going to need to play around with it, I think, but it does sound kind of good. Reserve moves are always nice. Finally, spell number 6 is Sapping Blight. It's a hex with a casting value of 9 plus and range of 12 inches. Until your next starter turn subphase, the target enemy unit suffers a minus D3 modifier to its strength characteristic to the minimum of 1. This spell may target an enemy unit engaged in combat. If this spell is cast, the effects of others' hexes wear off. It's still a very good spell. Very, very good spell. Again, if you're going to be dealing with a lot of Beastmen or Chaos Warriors, that type of stuff is always going to help. The fact that you can cast it in combat, very good spell. So here we are at the end of the book. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't consider this book like essential for Wood Elf play. You don't really need that if you want to play with a grand army. There's some fun stuff. The Lore of Magic is cool. The Kindreds are nice. I didn't speak about them because it's kind of like, you know, not cover the whole book, or else what's the point of them selling a product in a sense, right? It's not amazing, but this has been the weakest one so far in terms of Arcane Journals, which there was bound to be one. To be fair, I'm kind of glad it's the Wood Elves. I know you guys are Wood Elf fans and so on, but it's more of the case of like they were very good with the Grand Army. This is just adding some extra bits to them. Overall, yeah. I mean, we do know that there's plans. They've talked about it in a recent blog interview thing. Only a matter of time until we see some more stuff for the Wood Elves. Kind of disappointed that we didn't see the return of the Meadow Chariot, though. I think everyone was kind of expecting that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. I do apologize if I sound tired. It is 3 a.m. I've been working on the Plutonic project. You guys will see that video soon. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you all again, hopefully tomorrow. Bye.